Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michelle Casada here with WPTV, and I am joined this afternoon by several hotel managers and staff across Palm Beach County. Thank you all so much for being here, and I'll be introducing you one by one in a second. We also have Glenn Jurgensen with the Palm Beach County Tourist Development Council, who's joined us this afternoon. And I'm sure you've all been talking about this, seeing this, just the increase in tourism that we have seen in Palm Beach County in the recent months. You've seen our series, Priced Out of Paradise, that has really focused on the housing market and the rental market and what we've seen there. And now we're seeing this huge boom of tourism, record numbers, as Glenn will tell you about. Filling up our hotels, filling up our restaurants. The traffic is pretty crazy anywhere in Palm Beach County that you go right now. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what's driving this. Is it slowing down or not? All the aspects of what we're seeing. Feel free to put in any comments or questions throughout the discussion, and we'll try to keep the conversation going and hear from you and answer your questions. So first off, I just want to be able to introduce everybody who's here. We have Ryan Karan with the Director of Sales at a Loft Hotel in Delray Beach. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And Corey Goldfarb, he's the sales manager at the Palm Beach Marriott Singer Island Beach Resort and Spa. Corey, thank you again for spending time with us this afternoon.
Thank you, Michelle. Pleasure to be here.
Chris Steele, he's the general manager of the Canopy Hotel in downtown West Palm Beach. Hi, Chris.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Good. Thank you. And of course, Glenn Jurgensen, Executive Director of the Palm Beach County Tourist Development Council. Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Michelle. Good to be with you today.
Thank you. And I want to start with you, Glenn, because you're the numbers guy. You really keep track of the data here in Palm Beach County and, really talk about what we've been seeing. How quickly did this all start? Well, we just started to see a huge boom in tourism. I know we had COVID still lingering variants last year. We had Omicron in January, and then all of a sudden we just had a big boom in people coming to Palm Beach County.
Well, it's absolutely been ramping up since 2021. We came out of the pandemic. It was variant after variant that just impacted us, and we kept slowing back and pulling back. But then in 2021, it really started to, and our fiscal year starts in October. So in 2021, it just started to peak up. The summer of actually starting in April of last year, 2021, we set records every single month for bed tax collections, which is that's our monitor of how healthy the economy is for tourism in the county. And we set records every single month, starting in April. It has not ended. The month of January, this past January, was another record month. We did $7.8 million just worth of collections, bed tax collections, and that's 6 cents on every dollar that's spent on the accommodations of a hotel or a non-hotel like a VRBO and an Airbnb. So we did 7.8 million last January, 4.1. So we were up 83% year over year. And it's incredible. It really is. In the first 5 months of the new fiscal year that started in October, right now we are 100% ahead of the same period last year in 2021. So it's good for the economy, no doubt about it.
And we're seeing that, that demand, just as we saw with the housing market. I know some people have already commented on the pricing of rent and all that. We've seen the demand also drive up the cost and the rates at hotels if you want to stay. Corey, you're the sales manager at the Palm Beach Marriott Singer Island Beach Resort. You guys, I just looked up your hotel. If you wanted to stay for April 1st, that week at April 1st to April 4th, it's like $1,000, over $1,000 a night. Talk a little bit about that, just demand and how the prices are going up.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate of seeing incredible demand over the last year. Obviously being such an open state has drawn a lot of business down this way. But we sit on a beautiful piece of real estate here in Singer Island, such a unique property, being right on the beach, an all-suite property. So those numbers, that demand just keeps growing and growing. We've seen about a 10% increase in occupancy year over year over the last 6 months or so. So as those numbers continue to rise and occupancy, people want to be here, those rates have followed as well. The good news is summer's coming, and while occupancy still continues to grow, we should see an evening out of those rates a little bit. Looking more into the mid $600 range. So there's going to be a slight correction, if you will, or at least some more value options coming out there. But overall, we've been very fortunate to have such great demand over the last year.
Yeah, and as Glenn informed me, this week the rates for hotels are up 30 to 50% across the county. So this isn't just specific to Singer Island or any specific area of the county. I wanted to bring in Chris Steele from the Canopy Hotel in downtown West Palm Beach. Chris, if you could talk a little bit about just whether or not you see a lot of out-of-towners, are local staycationers, what's the clientele that you're seeing that wants to book at the hotel right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've been pretty fortunate to get a lot of actually staycationers here. So we get a lot of people that come up from Miami. Miami's another massive area that continues to do really well and is extremely busy. And a lot of locals in Miami leave Miami to escape that chaos. And we see them here in downtown West Palm Beach a lot. So it's a little slice of tranquility away from the madness that is south in our neighboring counties. Aside from that, we do get a fair share of vacationers from out of town. So the tri-state area, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, that Northeast pocket, we get an insane amount of guests from there as well. So, our location is right in downtown West Palm Beach. So we're close to everything. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. And people want to just be able to park their car and be within walking distance to shops, restaurants, and things like that. So it's a mix. Like I said, staycationers, I would say, coming from our neighboring counties. And then we also do have quite a bit from the Northeast as well. Of course, that's a lot of that's weather driven as they continue to see snowstorms. The weather here continues to be phenomenal. So
yeah, and we've noticed that. Sorry, my dogs I have 2 German Shepherds at home, so whenever they hear the mailman, they go off like crazy.
He agreed with me.
They agreed with you. Yeah, they're commenting on the prices, right?
That's right.
And you mentioned, just the amount of out-of-towners that are locally like coming into Palm Beach County, and we see it with the license plates on the road. I mean, just today I saw Tennessee and New York in like 1 second. I saw 2 different license plates. I know we're seeing the traffic increase in Palm Beach County as well. But going back to the sales part of this. For the last couple of weeks, I know that for hotel occupancy, it's been at 100%, especially President's Day weekend. It was a huge week for hotels. Ryan, I had talked with one of your sales managers earlier this week over at Aloft. You guys were at 100% capacity for a few weeks, right? Occupancy.
Yes. We had quite a few weeks there from mid-February up until about this week where we were lucky enough to be at 100% occupancy. Thankfully, the community at Delray Beach has a lot of events that go on during this time, which brings a lot of people in, both driving in up from Miami, down from Port St. Lucie, over from Tampa, as well as our Northeastern travelers and from the Midwest as well.
Do we, Glenn, foresee this continuing on for the next several months? I know you mentioned just spring training and having all these sports activities going on is going to continue to drive people to come to Palm Beach County.
Well, I think February, March, and April, with Easter being a little bit later in the month of April, I think season is going to be phenomenal. And then I think as we get into the summertime, sports tourism starts to take over, and a lot of our hotels, certainly the I-95 and Turnpike corridor, those hotels will host a lot of families who are here for a lot of the sporting events that we do, the amateur baseball sports, a lot of the soccer and lacrosse and things like that. So I think the summertime, if our hotel friends can keep the rates that are affordable by families, I think it's going to be a great summer too.
And, I want to touch on a comment. Vito Lorenzo comments, people that live in Florida can't afford to vacation in their own state. Hotel prices are way too high. I know there are incentives, though. I know if you're a member at, Marriott Bonvoy, you get a discount. Can you, if you all want to jump in, what are the different incentives or discounts you can get, whether you're a AAA member, or how can you make it more affordable for our local staycationers? Whoever wants to jump in.
Yeah, sure. So there's a lot of I'm one of those as well. I love this to staycation in my own state. A lot of hotels offer Florida resident rates, Florida, Georgia resident rates. You'll see that. There is also AAA. Those can be anywhere from 15 to 20% discounts. And then there's also, each hotel has their own loyalty program. So if you're a member of that, then there's usually a discount off of the best available rate that you'll see. So there's little things like that. I would also recommend looking off-peak days. For example, we have the Palm Beach County Boat Show coming up soon. It's in your best bet. Try to not look for a hotel around that time frame because it's just insane demand. It's our equivalent of having a Super Bowl in our backyard. Look for Sundays, Mondays, things like that if you can. Those are some of our days that are not peak. And you'll usually see the prices go down a little bit around that time. Also, like was mentioned earlier, you've got summertime coming up, and we see travel decrease a little bit there, which should open it up. So those are just a few tricks of the trade to hopefully help people out.
And if I can add a trick for you, look at the flexibility options. I know on Marriott.com's site, if you look at our hotel, look at a 2-night stay, you can choose what month you want to stay in, and it'll give you every arrival day what your price is going to be. So if you're local and you have some flexibility on when you can travel, look at those options. You might be able to find some great value over a weekend that you may not have realized would be a great value for you.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey's the sales manager over at Palm Beach Marriott Singer Island. Corey, and for the rest of you, are you also seeing this increase in movement at your hotel restaurants? Because I know all of you have fabulous restaurants inside your establishments. Are you seeing that locals are also booking up reservations there on the weekends?
Yeah, absolutely. We love having our local clientele come and visit us. We're in an area particularly for us that has a lot of condo residents in the immediate area. So those have been just as busy as the hotels have been, and we've been very fortunate that they want to be here as well. So yeah, the restaurant's been jamming, and we've seen a lot of great results out of them as well.
I know there's been a lot of negativity across from our local residents just about, there's so many out-of-towners and so many people from the Northeast that are buying up homes, cash offers, sight unseen, and also now taking up a lot of our hotel reservations, our restaurant reservations. But Glenn, you mentioned earlier just what's developed by bed taxes and how a lot of these out-of-town folks really drive our tourism economy here. Can you talk a little bit about where those dollars go back into our county and how we do get to enjoy the fruits of that labor, if you will, in the long term?
I think, as I mentioned to you last time we met, Michelle, is that really the benefit of tourism taxes and what we do with those tourism taxes improves the quality of life for all of us, because everything that we collect goes back into the economy. It goes into marketing to bring certainly more folks here, but it also builds the tourism assets that we have. We wouldn't have 2 ballparks hosting 4 Major League Baseball teams if it wasn't for tourism taxes. We wouldn't have a convention center that hosts groups and meetings and art shows and the like if we didn't have tourism taxes. So those are the kind of things. And the other big one, because people come to the Palm Beaches because they love our beaches, we put over $6 million of tourism taxes into beach renourishment every single year that our environmental management team at the county leverages with state funds and federal funds to be able to make our beaches as pristine as possible. So that's where tourism taxes go back to. We don't just put them in reserves and hold them for a rainy day. We put them back to work to keep these visitors coming in, going to our restaurants, certainly going to our cultural venues and our sporting venues, and certainly having the chance for our hoteliers and their employees to service these folks and give them a vacation that they'll enjoy and they'll remember for the rest of their life.
And Chris, you did offer some tips on how you can find the best rates. Could you also talk a little bit about, how far in advance can you book right now to be able to get a reasonable rate maybe down the line? Are you getting these rates only a few weeks out, or if someone wanted to book, something in September, October, is that even possible?
Sure. Yeah, they can book that far out. And, if they have plans finalized or if they know that's the month that they might want to be traveling in, then I would recommend that. because it's as demand continues to increase, then it's just a common reaction that the prices will too. So if they have the ability to book that far out, then they certainly can. Our hotel specifically, we had almost $100,000 in cancellation happen in January because of the Omicron variant. $100,000 in the month, and then we got it all back. It was all booked by local vacationers and things like that. So people are watching closely and waiting for cancellations. We've considered opening up a wait list that the brand does offer. So I recommend it. I recommend looking in advance. A lot of hotels are very, very flexible that far out with cancellation policy as well, so that you're not held accountable for anything if you cancel within notice. So if your plans change, you can always cancel that and get a refund back if need be.
That's great. Someone just commented, Peter, let's figure out a way to get rid of traffic, right? that comes along with the territory of more people around. And one thing that someone brought up to me earlier this week was, are there any bundle packages that are offered? Like, if you do pay a higher rate to stay at your hotel, are there any discounts if you want to go to a golf course or you want to go to an activity somewhere else in Palm Beach County? Do any of the hotels offer things like that?
Ours specifically does not, and in our location in downtown West Palm Beach, so we're not adjacent to any golf course or anything like that. We do have 2 fabulous restaurants on site, one of which is a rooftop bar and lounge. So there's discounts that are had for certain tiers of hotel loyalty members and things like that. But perhaps some of the other panelists might have some of those packages available. But unfortunately, we're landlocked right here in downtown West Palm. So.
Yeah, any activities on the water? I know the Palm Beach area already has a recreation center at your hotel, right? That you offer some of these things.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of different activities right here on property, whether it's paddleboarding, kayaking out on the ocean, snorkeling gear, 2 pools as well, full service spa here on property. So we're really position ourselves at a property where you can come here and have a full experience without ever having to leave the property. As I was talking about how great the county is, though, we're within a short drive of so many great golf courses and other venues. Sustainability, of course, being a big part of our messaging as well. So partnering with Loggerhead Marine Life Center, for example, all different things that we like to endorse to our guests. And we do have various packages as well to kind of add some value to those rates that we're charging. So whether it's a meal packaging that's included, activity packaging, through our website, we offer a number of different options to really make the most of your experience when you stay with us.
Yeah. For those that are just joining, I know some are asking about rental and housing market. So, this discussion really stems off of, we know that there is a price of paradise situation going on right now. We know that the housing market has had we've done a whole series on this, on just what the housing market has looked like with the influx of people coming into Palm Beach County with the high demand for homes and apartments. We're looking at today the tourism impact of all of this. Our hotels are also getting booked to capacity. Our restaurants locally, those reservations are being booked. I know I just spoke to a woman the other day who said she's changing her habits of what nights she dines out. So normally she would dine out Friday, Saturday night, typical, date nights. And now she's moving that to, Mondays or Tuesdays, or moving her happy hours from Fridays to Wednesdays or Thursdays. So those are all the kind of things that we're talking about right now. Just a lot of different things that have impacted the lifestyle of our locals. I know obviously the housing market is one that's very stressful for our viewers, for everyone who lives in our area. But this also is a topic of interest we've been hearing about, just the lifestyle of being able to just go to your favorite restaurant on the weekend or book a tea time to golf, and everything is pretty much taken up. Anything else, Glenn? I know we talked about just the summers have been picking up here. Normally that's our slower season, and everybody always talks about season, being from the months of October to April, but we're starting to see that stretch out a little bit or become less definite, less obvious what season is in Palm Beach County. Is that what you're seeing as well with the data?
I think it's flattening out a lot. I think we're starting to see that summertime, we come out of peak season, which ends up being that April-May timeframe, but there are so many activities and so many folks that still look to Florida and South Florida because at the time it might be a little bit more affordable vacation to come down here, but the beautiful beaches, the golf courses, 160 golf courses in Palm Beach County that people can, and certainly some of the best we have in the world right here with public courses and private courses. And then just all the environmental areas that we have where people can go and be outdoors and really enjoy just the outside. And our parks and recreation system in the county is second to none. So that's what people want to do. They want to be outside. They want to be enjoying the summertime. It's no hotter down here than it is in Boston in the middle of summertime.
Yeah.
And at least we have air conditioning to handle those inside, go in and escape. Whereas a lot of places up north don't have air conditioning. So it's not that bad down here.
Are we seeing, and I know there's a lot of marketing that takes place in other states to get people to Palm Beach County. Are we seeing that a lot of our locals are also looking elsewhere to vacation and trying to get, I know plane tickets also are skyrocketing, but it just made me think of it because Betty Lorenzo commented about how, for $3,000 or $5,000, you can go to other countries like Brazil, Punta Cana, and DR, and that you might have a vacation that's a little cheaper than going to Miami or Fort Lauderdale, which, someone mentioned that to me yesterday too. They're like, maybe you could fly to the Bahamas and go there for a weekend and spend less money. Are you seeing that locals are exploring those options instead?
Is that a question for me, Michelle?
I'm sorry, Glenn. Yeah.
No. I think locals do want to disappear at some point in time. They want to go to even other areas of Florida and see if they can enjoy a vacation there. But I just would think that's probably sometime in this same time frame that going out of the country is probably not something that too many people are doing. I know the Caribbean is just starting to open up. A lot of the islands down there have not been open, have not been available. And we'll probably see some impact of that coming into the later part of season and maybe into the summertime. But still, where can you either drive to or do a shorter trip? If you can drive to a location, what better?
Yeah. And Julie had a good question. Do you anticipate more in-state travel with Brightline back and its expansion to Orlando underway? I mean, and she brings up gas prices too, which I'm sure is on the top of mind for many when they're considering, well, do I want to do a vacation right in my backyard in Delray Beach, or do I want to drive up to, Vero Beach or somewhere else?
I think Brightline is going to be a great addition for all of us. I think the hoteliers that are certainly close to the Brightline tracks and certainly downtown and the like, and have that access. And it's so easy to get from Miami. And then when Orlando's in full swing, I think the Palm Beaches is going to be right in the sweet spot between the Orlando International Airport. We've got PBI right within, 3 miles of West Palm Beach downtown. And then you've got both Fort Lauderdale stops and Miami stops. We're right in the middle. So people could say, hey, I'm going to fly into Orlando, then I'm going to go down to the Palm Beaches for a couple of days. Maybe I'll go all the way down to Miami and spend a few down there. So I think it's going to open up a lot of options for our travelers around the country and even around the state of Florida to decide, maybe we'll go down to the Palm Beaches for a couple of days and stay at the Canopy, or we'll get an Uber and go up to the Singer Island Marriott. Certainly Delray, when the new station is also down in Boca for Brightline, I think that's going to be another plus, that Boca and Delray are really going to see the benefit of the Brightline travel, especially when Orlando opens up in the next few years.
Absolutely. And, do you think hoteliers, this is a turning point? I know 2020 and 2021 were a lot slower than, I know 2021 when you started to pick up a little bit more, but we're a lot slower than what you're used to, if you compare numbers to 2019. But, Ryan, over at Aloft, do you think this is a turning point? I know yesterday in talking to Tanya, she talked about just the spring breakers now in the next few weeks driving occupancy that way. So I feel like there's always something going on. This might be a turning point for vacationing.
Definitely. I would definitely say that this is a turning point. I can say for the next couple months, probably through early summer, we are seeing a very high occupancy. So we're very thankful to see that, both with flying in and driving in, we're seeing it all the way through July right now.
Yeah. Anything else you all would like to add? I know obviously we're seeing those prices anywhere between 30 to 50% increase on those hotel rates. You expect it to drop sometime in the summertime by how much? I mean, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but what can our locals, just to give them a little glimmer of hope to say, hey, your summer vacation might still be intact if you wait a little longer.
Yeah, and I can touch on that, Michelle. You mentioned at the start that, you look at rates for our hotel for a weekend out here was about $1,000 a night right now, and that's very true. I looked in June, we're looking at weekends in closer to the $650 range. July, even a little bit lower in the mid fives. So we're definitely seeing some lower rates as we get into the summer months. But demand continues to be high. As was mentioned earlier, we do still plan to be sold out or close to it through all those times. But hopefully those will be opportunities where some of those folks who are local, want to stay local, will have the opportunity to come see us or the other great properties throughout the Palm Beach area as those numbers start to decrease a little bit.
Yeah. Anything else you all would like to add just about the methods of locals booking at your hotels? Like, I know there's so many third parties you can book through. Would you be able to find better discounts booking that way, or booking straight from your websites? Like, I'm curious if you want to talk a little bit about that. What's the best method for people to look at the rates and compare? Hey, maybe this weekend or next weekend is too high for me, but 2 months down the line, I see the rates are dropping just a tad.
Yeah, so I would recommend actually booking through the brand's website. The reason for that is they're typically a lot more flexible with any cancellations. So not just speaking, COVID incidents, but life happens, right? So typically when you book a rate through some of the third-party discount sites, you pay in advance and you're locked in. And I actually see someone was commenting about just that, and they lost a lot of money. So nobody likes to do that. I would recommend booking through the brand, whether that's Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, whatever the case may be. You'll get dollar for dollar, same price. A lot of these brands match the rates of the discount sites. But then again, you're not held accountable if something happens like that. So you can cancel most of the time and get a full refund if you're required to pay up front. The old days of booking through some of these discount sites, the brands have wised up to that, and it's not such, the delta between the two sites doesn't exist anymore. So I'd recommend going through thebrand.com. And then, I mean, if you're going to spend the money anyway, get rewarded for it. Again, whether you're Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, whatever, enroll in their loyalty program, get points for your stay. You're paying a lot of money to stay at these hotels, and you'll get points based off of the more you spend. So that's what I would recommend with whatever brand you choose. They're all really good about that.
And before I let you guys go, Corey, I wanted to touch base with you on hiring, because I know a lot of hotels in our hospitality industry in general is still struggling to get back up to a full staff of what they were like in 2019. You all just had a hiring event at the Palm Beach Marriott Singer Island. How are you handling the vacancies and still handling the high demand with guests at your hotel?
And I'm glad you brought it up. With these higher rates comes really high expectations from our guests, and it's in our team's hands to deliver on those. We do still have a number of vacancies that we continue to try to fill. We've done a great job, and our team has done a great job of filling those vacancies. But really what it comes down to is where those shortfalls are in higher positions is the rest of the team to help pick up that slack. I'm the sales manager at this hotel, but over the last few months, I've assisted in cleaning rooms, bussing tables, helping out at the pools, setting up the beaches. It takes a whole team effort here to make sure that our guests who are paying those $1,000 per night stays are not feeling the impact of what those hiring and employee deficits are. Luckily, we've done a great job of filling those positions lately. We're getting very close to getting back to our pre-pandemic staffing levels. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter to our guests. They're paying $1,000 a night. We need to make sure that we fulfill those expectations. And I like to say that our team's done a phenomenal job over the last few months of doing so.
Absolutely. And that's, if anyone else wants to touch on that, I think about that all the time. If you're paying that much money to stay at a hotel, you want the full experience. You want great service. And as hoteliers, you want to be able to do that so you can continue to bring back people and have them return to Palm Beach County, I'm sure.
And I think, Michelle, just so your viewers know, we're still not up to the level of employment that we were, pre-pandemic. Right now, we're at about 88,000 folks that are in the leisure and hospitality sector of employment. That includes the hotels, the restaurants, the attractions. Normally, right now in January, February, we'd have about 96,000 people employed in this industry. So we're still down. A lot of people. Tourism and hospitality was the industry that was most impacted by the pandemic. And there's still a lot of people that have not come back to this industry, found other jobs, other places, going into other careers. But as you can tell, the hotels are certainly working with what they have to make your experience as wonderful as possible. But I'm sure it's a very big challenge, as you can hear Corey talk, sales manager that's out making beds and bussing tables. And it's certainly it's a challenge, but we want our guests to understand that this is the Palm Beaches, and we're proud of what we all have, and we want to put people back to work, our friends and neighbors. So
absolutely. Thank you all so much for joining us, and I really appreciate everyone who participated and asked questions or had comments. I want to close with reminding everyone who might be feeling frustration from high gas prices, from just the increase in traffic, from just overcrowding at restaurants and everything, that there are ways that you can work around this and still get the staycation that you want. If you're traveling out of Florida is too expensive for you right now, like look into the hotels that have the Florida residence rates or have rates for being a member of that plan. All those things help, and also being flexible with your vacation is what I'm hearing from these gentlemen, being flexible about the time you can vacation to get the best rate. So we're going to have a story on these frustrations and the impact of our boom in tourism, plus the benefits, the pros of our boom in tourism tonight at 6 o'clock. So please make sure to tune into that on Channel 5. And for now, I just want to thank all of you so much for your time. Thank you for the discussion. And I hope our viewers, our Facebook participants got something out of this today. I appreciate you all so much.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
All right, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.